So, all you scared to death Negroes, just sit down. Don't you come out to defend our enemy. You sit down and you shut up and tell your master to come on out and deal with it.
So at this time, let us begin with our Sister Mecca, Sister Dawn. You know what to do. Let us begin.
Assalamu alaikum. I have the pleasure to introduce you to one of our panelists today. And we're going to start with a quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The only thing that you can do is decide what you are going to do with your life. To whom much is given, much is expected. Sister Makeda has always had the desire to use her skills to serve her nation. She was inspired by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on his college tour, inspiring students to go into the agriculture field. So she did. She is the daughter of Ismini and a native of Columbus, Ohio. Sister Makeda Nurradin is a plant and soil science specializing environmental science graduate student at Tuskegee University, where she researches predicting bruising threshold of sweet potatoes using instrumented spear technology. She graduated from Tuskegee University with a Bachelor of Science degree in plant and soil science, specializing in environmental science in 2016. In college, she was president of the Muslim Student Association, on the Dean's List, and participated in many community service organizations, such as Habitat for Humanity, countless food pantries. She also served as the international chair for the National Society of Black Engineers. She led a trip to Ghana to initiate project in villages for clean water filtration systems and installation of mechanical wells. After graduation, she worked as an environmental specialist, reviewed and created hazardous waste characterizations of several chemicals for proper disposal and documentation. Sister Makeda has been featured in Who's Who among American college students and universities and Who's Who in Black Columbus. She is the recipient of the following scholarships: Mother Tanetta Muhammad, General Motors, Prince Hall Masons, and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. She is a member of honor societies such as Gamma Sigma Delta and Golden Key. In the future, she desires to use her skills gained serving in the Ministry of Agriculture. Please let us give a warm welcome for Sister Makeda.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I'd like to greet my fellow graduate students, parents, and guests in the greetings of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sister.
I'd like to thank the Parents Engagement Alliance for inviting me to participate in the demand for the Separation College Summit. I pray that the information that I give and share to you is beneficial to you in some way. I'll be discussing my mission and the mission of the Nation of Islam and deciding my major and how I can combine those. And I'm going to share my screen with you. So I will be sharing with you about my mission. This is an outline about what I'll be going over with you. It's my background, how I decided a major in my college, some research that I'm doing, my mission and tips for the future. As mentioned, I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and I'd like to thank Sister Mecca for introducing me. And while growing up, I participated in many different activities, and I really have to thank my mother, Sister Ismini, for raising me in the Nation of Islam. That's and the right. Sacrifices that she has made to get me to where I am today and instilling in me principles to serve my nation. So some of the activities that I was involved with was youth council and leadership roles, participating in many community gardens. And for students who are interested in college, like I was prior to going to college, you may be thinking of, well, what am I going to major in? Or how do I decide my major? So growing up, you can just think about things that you're interested in. Everything is needed in the building of a nation. So for me, I realized you could find me outside. I had a rock collection of over 700 rocks at some point. At one point, I thought I was going to be a geologist. And then later, I participated in community gardens in high school, and I was able to help with a community garden and make that self-sustainable in a very desperate community. It was a food desert. For those of you who don't know, a food desert is an area in which there is not a lot of fresh food available. So combining those skills, I decided to go into agriculture. And I have to thank my grandmother, Miss Ernestine, who is a child of sharecroppers from Alabama. And she told me about, I heard the stories growing up of George Washington Carver and the traveling agricultural bus. And that helped me decide that I want to go to Tuskegee University. And some activities that I participated in growing up was Ohio Business Week. I found out that I did not want to go into business. I also participated in math camp and robotics camp. That was a great summer. And there are activities available. I was able to build robots and go to robot competitions. And some activities throughout the school year, and even now, that are available to current students, such as on the elementary, middle school, or high school level, are NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, pre-collegiate activities. And also, I really enjoy SWE. SWE is the Society of Women Engineers. I currently volunteer with that organization. We were helping elementary students build solar ovens. So I hope that something that I was able to teach them about science, they'll be interested in going into some of the STEM fields. And I'd like to share this short clip with you about what it's like being a student at Tuskegee University at a football game. And for those of you who went to Tuskegee, TU? What? No Tuskegee people? Okay. Well,
They're muted. They're muted. Don't worry.
Oh, they're muted? Okay. Here is a short clip.
As you cried.
There you go.
Okay, come here. Let's see. So I too was one of those students in the shed. So when you're a student, of course you go to school, you're active in your mosque, and you may want to participate in extracurricular activities. Okay, this is more about my college experience. In college, I was active in the mosque, and also I was president of the Muslim Student Association here. We had the honor of welcoming the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to our campus, and he really inspired me on our tour, on his college tour, because we need everything in the building of a nation, and when we separate, we really need people to go in, students to go into agriculture, and we have to be able to grow our own food. I participated in volunteer opportunities such as organizing community cleanups and of course community gardens, which are near and dear to my heart. I was also in the choir. After graduation, I was able to I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, and here I was volunteering with the 10,000 Fearless, feeding the homeless. And in college, also, I had the opportunity to learn about many different skills. And it's important in college to actually, as an undergraduate, you can sign up to do research and further your studies. And all these skills that you gain can really help your nation. Here I am testing water from the Tuskegee Lake. And I also had the chance to at Savior's Days and other activities. When you travel, you can meet students and meet sisters and other believers from all around the world. We are everywhere. And you can gain more experience and skills. Some of the internships that I've had are Intel, Cargill, and John Deere. So more about college. It's great to be in honor societies such as Gamma Sigma Delta. Gamma Sigma Delta is an agricultural honor society as well as Golden Key. You may be thinking about, well, I've decided on a major. How am I going to pay for this? So these honor societies offer scholarships. Most of the Fortune 500 companies have scholarships. Sororities and fraternities have scholarships. If you're an athlete, you may decide to go on an athletic scholarship. Universities have their own scholarships. So when you're thinking about a college and deciding a major, a college looks at a student holistically. They look at your GPA, your SAT or ACT scores. And some colleges now are even waiving the ACT or SAT score. And also your FAFSA, which is free student aid. And I worked on an organic farm as well, furthering my interest in agriculture. Here, I actually learned how to drive a tractor. And this is learning different skills such as growing the crops from seedlings all the way to post-harvest, marketing, and selling them to retailers. And over here, I'm airlaying muscadines. And in college, you have the opportunity to travel different places. I have been to a couple different countries, just to name a few, Ghana and Ethiopia, and you get a holistic view and see other cultures. This is my current research, and this is my preliminary data, which I presented to the Professional Agricultural Workers Conference. It's on predicting the bruising threshold of sweet potatoes using instrumented spear technology. So in a nutshell, sweet potato, all crops bruise, and that bruising can be commercially important for farmers. So with this research, you'll be able to detect at which threshold or at which level that these crops are more likely to bruise, and that information can be shared with local farmers. So my mission, I'd like to combine my science-related field and what I like to do and help my community. I always like to volunteer. As mentioned, to whom much is given, much is expected. I have been so grateful for the nation and my family and my friends for helping me, and I intend to help my nation. And combining my mission with the Nation of Islam and seeking freedom, justice, and equality. I'd like to share with you something, number 4 from the Muslim program. Since we cannot get along with them in peace and equality, after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced, we believe our contributions to this land and the suffering forced upon us by white America justifies our demand for complete separation in a state or territory of our own. So if you're deciding a major, as I have, think not what your nation can do for you, but what you can do for your nation. So I like to combine these and serve in the Ministry of Agriculture in the future. So this is my current stage of life. I'll be graduating in next month with a master's in plant and soil science, specializing in environmental science. I'd like to pursue a PhD in agriculture, marriage and courtship, and serve in the Ministry of Agriculture as mentioned. These are some tips for success that have worked for me, and I hope that they may work for you as well, such as praying and being active in your mosque, having a relationship with Allah God, and having a strong support system of family and friends. You may go away from college just like I did. I'm from Ohio and went to school in Alabama. Who would have thought of that? And while in college, I had my own support system of these, joining a student organization of like-minded people in the Muslim Student Association and attending every class. You don't want to miss anything. You want to make sure you gain all the skills that you can so that you can help your nation. And also to make sure that you exercise and help your community. And while you're going along the way, gaining all of these wonderful skills to help your nation, remember the golden rule. Treat others the way that you would like to be treated, and to have a way to relieve your stress. So from going from freshman to junior to freshman, sophomore, junior, and then graduate school or professional school, you may incur some stress. You may be stressed out at times, and I myself was. So you can ask Allah for help and also get a tutor. Some of my classes were difficult, so I sought out help. A lot of colleges, such as Tuskegee University, have free tutors on campus available for students. So your bandwidth will expand, and you'll realize by your junior or senior year that you're able to handle a lot more than you thought you were able to. So some of my stress relief techniques that worked for me was journaling and walking, but for you, it may be playing soccer or playing a sport. I'd like to thank you for this time, and I leave you as I came in the words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.